I have a weird superstition where sometimes, like, if I'm driving and I think I could die in a car wreck right now, I think then my next thought is, well, I won't because I just thought that. What are the chances that I would have thought that?
That's true. I used to have that with the monsters under my bed. It was like, well, I just thought about the monster, so now they're definitely not going to be there. So I think we're all set.
It's their night off.
Yeah.
You're arriving on time, you're already late.
Okay. Got time to lean, you got time to clean. That's what I always say. All right. Picture this.
Should we do the intro first?
Sure.
Something we always forget.
That's true. We probably should.
Anyway.
Hey,
just look at your fucking phone. That's what the show is.
As you'll see, this is Your Inner Child is an Idiot. This is the podcast where we look back on things from our childhood and see if they're any good to begin with. My name is DJ.
I'm Damon. And also look at your phone to see the movie that I don't know we're doing yet.
Damon doesn't know.
Could even be a
song?
video game.
Remember that song? We can look back on that song. Damon
doesn't know.
It's Scotty doesn't know. It's from another movie that we haven't covered yet. Okay, so this...
My head is swimming. Go on.
Okay. I'll narrow it down a little bit for you. It's a film.
I'm locked in. Yeah.
Okay. It has...
the Jazz Singer.
Become franchised.
Ugh.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. This one is starring someone that we've seen in something we've covered before, but in a way that's gonna be like, really? Oh yeah, I guess so. One of those.
Is it related to the season we're in?
It is, which is spoopy season.
Ooh, is it spoopy or actually spooky? Legally speaking, you have to tell me. It's entrapment otherwise.
I have seen this, and I wouldn't say that it's more like, whoa, than spooky.
Oh,
you know?
Okay, so just like you bumped into a owner with a vase on it, and the vase wobbles a little bit.
Things, I'm telling you, all these things I'm saying are going to make sense. Just so okay, catalog them.
Can I review our clues real quick?
Sure, yeah.
It's a film. It's since been franchised. And it's got someone in it that's been in something else we've seen.
For the podcast, not just like in your life.
Right, I know, just not in life.
Okay. You only have that already.
A 7th grade teacher?
That already narrows it down to 200 and things.
It just, let me narrow it down. Now, it was made during the history of cinema. Is that correct?
Yeah. Sometime during our lives, not in the future. Okay.
It wasn't made before Thomas Edison invented the motion picture camera.
Correct. Right. Okay.
Is it an oral history at all? Go on.
Okay. How can I narrow this down some more? Year is 2000.
Year of 2000 or the decade, the noughts? Is that what you mean?
Both. The year this came out is the year 2000.
Okay.
Depending on how you're counting it. It's like, it's actually the 21st century didn't start till 01. You know what? Fuck you, imaginary person who said that.
We're just having a millennium party. Stop ruining it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had already gone through Y2K. The post-apocalypse of Y2K has passed. And we got civilization back on track again.
Now imagine, just so you get in the mood, like before you even guess what it is, just imagine we're sitting here, we're podcasting. There's a freak accident, and this microphone goes through my left eye and comes out of the back.
Yeah.
And you watch me die. Does this ringing any bells?
No, but it reminds me of one of those stupid movies where they have the screens. I just watched War of the Worlds with Iced Cube. And, and it's all one of those screen life movies, which are always terrible. Although I've heard good things about Unfriended with, what's his name?
Oh, yeah. Did I see that?
Or the one with John Cho. That one's supposed to be passable, at least.
That was like, we made this during the pandemic. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously.
At the time, we were all stuck inside.
Goes through someone's eye, or something goes through someone's eye in this movie and comes out the back, and you die?
Say that happened and you discovered you were in a movie. What movie would you think you were in?
My God, of course. Freak Accidents. Final Destination.
That's the one.
With some of the hottest young people of our generation.
Including Devon Sawa, who you know as Casper the Friendly Rare.
He also, the gay guy from Dawson's Creek, I think, is in it.
Tony Todd.
No, that's Candyman.
He's in this too. I just looked at the thing.
Although I do often call Tony Todd the gay guy from Dawson's Creek. He's always confused when I say it, especially to his gravestone.
I was there another person. I wasn't like saying Tony Todd is the gay person. Ali Larder, who I mostly know from Heroes, but who's been in Varsity Blues, some other things.
Varsity Blues.
I think she's in Legally Blonde. Other things. This, I feel like, am I wrong by saying this movie is mostly known for the actual like mechanics of the plot and that it spawned many, many other versions of it?
Yeah, it's mostly known for like the Rube Goldberg ways people die. And I feel like I don't know if it's in like a microphone through the eye. Even though it's got this cushion on top, why would I?
You wouldn't think that would work.
And it's bigger than my eye socket, so
that's
think it twice, Death. I don't know if this became a trope in later movies as they started getting more creative, but I feel like it's also known for like, you think this guy's going to die by getting his hand caught in the garbage disposal, but then later he goes outside and the ladder from his tenement building falls through his face or something. Some nonsense.
They switch the old
I have not seen this one. I have oddly seen the second one, which has the log truck.
Log truck, which is a fear of everyone who's ever driven on a highway. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
Behind a log truck. Okay.
Everyone, even if you haven't seen that movie, I already knew. I think the trailer was basically that first scene in that movie. I'm just curious, why is Death so committed? Like, we're all dying. You're going to meet quota. Just, it doesn't matter.
That's like the cops, you know, like at the end of the month pulling people over. It's like, you know, everyone's speeding. You could just pick anyone.
Do you know how fast you were going back there? I have no idea. I could have been going the exact speed limit, or I could have been going 10 miles over. I don't know, sir.
I wouldn't know the difference. I gotta be honest. I wasn't looking at all. I was.
I guess if I was Deaf, and probably the best part of your job is, you know, a freak accident like a plane crash or a log truck losing all its logs.
I hope I get something fun today, Death says.
And if some psychic kid with ESP adjacent powers ruined it for me, I would be pissed as well.
Yeah,
so,
I'd want to
get it, Death.
I'd want to.
It's a personal thing. Get him. Get him.
Does he kind of like? I think in this one it's Death.
Wow! Don't gender Death.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. They then
come
so after.
Now, there's probably not just one Death.
Yeah, I was going to say
regional manager, sort of like a franchise thing you could do. $50,000 down. Is it like your Death?
Is it like districts? Is there like gerrymanderings? Or it's like, oh, we want this name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a lot more death. Because like, you know, like, oh, you get that.
A lot of old people in this district, so I'm just going to carve it out.
This district has downtown Nashville, so it's just pedestrians getting smeared it's not that exciting. I want something new.
Occasionally Morgan Wallen will throw a chair on a cop, but I mean, how often does that happen?
Do you think that cop was like he predicted it and now he's being Death?
In another universe, he was supposed to die, and now Death is hunting him down.
That cop was Devin Sawa.
Well, I'm excited for this, although I do have a fear of garbage disposals. I don't know if that's this one or another one.
I don't know. I do think, like, do you agree that this is not scary? Like, scary? Like, the kind that you're scared of?
Yeah, it feels more involved.
Yes.
A lot of tension, I guess, more than scary.
Yeah.
But tension is the thing I actually respond to the worst. Like, if Michael Myers just chasing after someone, I'm like, go get him. But, like, the tension of, like, is Michael Myers? That's the question, Deej. That's the question.
Wow. It got very Cartesian in here. Well, we're going to watch Final
Cartesian
Destination.
from West Elm that they're delivering next week.
You know, I like a Cartesian well.
A mid-century Cartesian. Beautiful. Understated.
I just realized we were matching head tilts. So if you're watching this video...
We're like dogs. We're like Labradors.
We're going to watch Final Destination, the original, so that we can obviously watch the new one in theaters. I'm all caught up. I'm all caught up.
Something.
Watch along with us. We'll be back after this. When I say that.
Back after this.
After us.
After us talking to you. My body was like, here's the problem.
Here's the problem. You're 40 now. Can't do it.
Can't just do whatever you want. You gotta follow the rules that I will reveal to you through pain.
Okay, commercial. What if
Commercial
instead of a
time.
traditional Patreon commercial where I tell everyone about patreon.com/YourInnerChild'sAnidiot, there's like a crazy series of like Rube Goldbergian ways in which people support our podcast.
Yeah.
Like they get hit by a passing seagull and it knocks a quarter out, which bounces down the sewer drain, which washes into a
sea?
A toy horsey thing.
Okay, which is down in the sewer drain?
Well, it bounced back up. I forgot when the sewer. Somehow it bounces back up because Death is involved. Death is kind of guiding this ship here.
He loves this shit.
And then you take it from there.
Right, and the horse gets there's a kid too close to the horse, and the kid gets kicked, and he has an ice cream cone. The ice cream flies off the cone onto a man's about to pay for something, and the cone like passes, right when he's handing over the dollar bill, the cone flies by, the dollar bill's on it, and then the dollar bill like slides into a vending machine that's attached to the internet, a vending machine for our website, a thing that definitely exists that you see on seaside.
You
towns.
see those everywhere. Rest areas.
You see those towns. I'm sure one of those machines would definitely accept a $20 bill with vanilla ice cream all over it.
And it would know.
It won't let me put a crunchy one in there.
It would also be like, please make this monthly.
DJ, can I ask you a serious question?
Sure.
Are we in the commercial right now?
I think so.
Okay. I might have known.
So. But only Death really knows.
I didn't know if I was having a prophecy of what the commercial would be.
Oh.
And then I warn you, no, we're going into a commercial. And you're like, stop, you're ruining my commercial over here. And then we look over and the commercial is a disaster.
I'm never going to do a commercial. You can't convince me to do a commercial. Certainly not for patreon.com/YourInnerChild'sAnidiot. I'm going to live forever.
Things that the characters say.
Anyway, if this were a commercial, we'd say, click on over to patreon.com/YourInnerChild'sAnidiot and support the show.
Thank you. Death.
Someday we'll...
Who is a patron of this show?
Someday we'll have t-shirts. Maybe. We tried them, but they peeled off. So, don't have. Yeah. I see how much you wear yours. Go.
I'm more of a t-shirt to bed type of guy.
Oh, even worse. You're not even wearing it to bed.
Because it would instantaneously peel off if you wore it to bed.
Combust! And you died.
Of the sheets.
Speaking of you dying, we watched Final Destination, a 2000 film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and take it away, Deej.
Yeah, okay.
I know the plot, so I can correct you. I definitely didn't pick up my phone at any point, so I can correct you whenever you go astray.
Okay.
Go for it, Deej.
Well,
make sure you name all the characters so that we know who's who.
Okay. Well, I definitely didn't think Ali Larter's character was Claire the whole time because they said Claire pretty clearly, but her name is Clear, Clear Rivers, which is pronounced pretty differently.
Two different words, some have said. Linguists.
I think it's pretty clear when I say, anyway. Okay, so...
You didn't even want to finish the sentence.
It's because it's stupid. I don't care. Okay. Alex, our main character, Casper. You might know him as Casper.
You might know him as Idle Hands.
I don't get that one.
He was in Idle Hands. It was a movie.
Oh, is that the movie that Outcast did?
I'm afraid it's Idle Wild, I believe you're thinking of. This is the Idle Hands was his hands were possessed by the devil. It was like a comedy. It was like a teen sex horror adjacent comedy.
Okay.
One of my favorite genres.
Interesting.
But that's not this movie.
No, this is Final Destination.
All you've done is say a man's name.
You act like that's my fault. You just took the tangent.
If you don't show leadership, I will take over.
You gotta show dominance. And
you've got to be the alpha.
Never take a breath in your recap.
Cesar Millan taught me all of this.
I'm gonna just give a quick yank to the collar. Okay, so Alex, our main character, Casper. He's in his French class, and they're going to France on a school trip. But he has a vision when he gets on the plane of the vision of the plane.
He has a vision of a vision.
Of kind of exploding midair, people getting sucked out, plane crash, everybody dies. Then he wakes up. He's still on the plane. The plane doesn't even take off. Yeah. He doesn't even taxied away from the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And he freaks out, as you would. And then a group of people kind of get off with him. And those people are now marked for death because the plane actually does explode in midair. And Death is like, hey, man, I was doing a thing. And you stopped it. So now Death is after these 7 people. You've got Clear Rivers, the total weirdo gal. No, the very
played by former model,
the beautiful Allie Lauder is the kind of love interest, kind of Clear Rivers. We've got the douchebag bully, Carter Horton. We've got his girlfriend, Terry.
Terry? Didn't
wait, come. Yeah, Terry Chaney, played by Amanda Detmer.
Played by Chaney, yeah.
You've got Ms. Luton, one of the teachers, who they have to decide one of the teachers has to go with the kids, and she decides to stay back. You've got not Shipbreak, Stifler, Sean William Scott, who just kind of was late and kind of got caught up in all this.
He went to get some Whoppers, as you would on a plane.
We got not a young Christian Bale, Todd, played by Chad Danello, who looks very much like Christian Bale looks like in Newsies, but he doesn't look like Christian Bale now.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
Not, so I don't know why you keep bringing it up. Mm-hmm. Is that did I miss one? Okay, so there's...
I had forgotten about Todd, even though he's the first person dead.
Alex.
Yeah, those are our survivors.
Okay, I don't know if that's up to 7, but it's close enough. And so the rest
that was 7.
The rest of the movie is those youths plus Valerie Loudon try to escape death and getting killed in more and more elaborate ways. And Alex still having some visions of how they're going to die, and also figures out that death is killing them in the order in which they would have died, because there's all this investigation into the plane crash and the explosion and a very detailed seat map of how the explosion happened. And so he overlays where everyone was sitting to that, realizes the order in which they're supposed to die, kind of tries to figure it out, but then realizes, I was going to switch seats. Oh, no. And so, which begs the question, does Death knew that he was going to switch seats? Does it go in the order? Is it like your ticket or where you would have been sitting?
Death, I think that was the twist, right? That he switched seats. So he was supposed to die last?
So
was that the idea?
No,
because he switched seats, that's why he was supposed to die last.
So Death was like, listen, if this is your ticket, this is your seat, okay? You didn't even
rules of rules.
Yeah. You got to wait at least until I do a through count and make sure we got everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you can switch seats as long as everybody's cool with it.
Right.
And no one's going to first class without a first class ticket. Okay.
Rules. Again, rules are rules.
Rules that I made up are rules, says Death. We'll get into that some more later. That's really it. Everybody ends up just sort of trying to escape death, dying in more, not always more elaborate ways, but just dying.
Yeah, the first 2 are the most elaborate, I feel like, right?
Yeah. So let's just go through them here. I guess we're kind of out of the recap now, and let's just get into it, right?
Okay. So our first death, is Todd.
Sorry, to finish the recap, and then Clear Rivers, Alex, and the bully Carter escape death, or do they?
They end up going to France in a fun, jaunty trip.
Yeah.
After all their friends died, they decide to have
6 months after their friends died
to France,
because they gave the process
where Kerr Smith is hit by a falling.
Where is he? I mean, it kind of
cafe sign.
It's not clear.
I guess it isn't clear, but it didn't seem like he was going to be getting out of the way.
It's not clear. It wasn't clear.
It wasn't clear either. Wasn't Claire Rivers.
Claire. So did they...
Claire.
So is her name Claire but spelled clear?
Thank you, DJ, for reaching out about her name.
Mm-hmm.
All operators are currently busy. I kept hearing them say Claire.
Yeah.
And then every time they showed her name, it was spelled clear. So it was distracting to me.
Well, and it's like, you can just... This is a character. Like, I understand that, like, in life...
This isn't a historical document.
You might choose a creative way to spell a name, and you can spell a name however you want and say it's pronounced, I could spell my name DJ and say it's pronounced JD if I wanted, and you could kind of choose whether to participate in that.
Mm-hmm.
But
to participate in that.
This is a fictional story. You could just name her Claire, right?
Yeah, you don't have to name her Claire and then keep pronouncing it Claire.
Anyway, I have no, I don't know, dog in this fight,
Except you texted it to me while you were watching it, that her name was Clear, and it seemed to have bothered you. We've spent the last 45 seconds talking about it. Feels like you got a dog.
I do, maybe it bothers me. It bothers me in the sense that I'm confused, and now thinking about it, like you said, when I just want to watch a story about some teens dying.
I know. You're just a man looking at another man wanting to talk about a movie about teens dying.
Is that so wrong?
Is that what do you think the meaning behind calling her Clear Rivers is? Because that feels like an intro to creative writing choice.
Yeah,
that someone made to name her Clear Rivers.
And she says she doesn't have his visions. She doesn't have Alex's visions, but she feels his feelings. Is what she says to him.
Oh man, that scene.
So she's like, when you are freaking out, I feel the freaking out. I'm like, that's just being a person, right?
She's
like,
no, she's an empath. She's a pure empath.
But she's like, it's not like she felt it when he was. Well, I guess she did feel it when he was not, because when he comes to, I think it's is it
Todd's house?
Todd's house. She's there, and they don't know each other that well. He didn't like call her or anything.
Right.
So she just shows up because she feels that he's freaking out. So ain't that just like the Lord is my question.
Yeah, it does seem like don't bring the Lord into it. I already got to deal with death. Don't bring the Judeo-Christian God into this. So let's talk about these deaths.
Okay.
Todd gets killed first.
Yeah.
Todd gets dotted.
I'd say the most elaborate of the deaths.
Yeah, they were counting on you. It's kind of like a video game where sometimes they put the best bosses at the beginning of the game because they don't count on you making it to the end.
Yeah.
So Todd's death is probably the best, where he is in the bathroom.
A lot of misdirection.
Didn't like it because it was giving me anxiety. At one point, he shaves and he cuts his neck, just a standard cut, but it was still like, ooh, is he going to slit his jugular? Nope, just a nick. And then he's like, you know what? I'm not going to shave, even though I've only shaved one little lawnmower row on my neck. I'm going to start plucking my nose hairs with some scissors. And so he starts doing that. I'm like, ooh, movie, I don't know if I can do this.
Meanwhile,
he's like, don't worry about it, because that's not how it goes either. And then we see the toilet is leaking water out of the pipe coming out of the wall. Very blue water.
The Caribbean.
Never seen blue water. This blue outside of a cartoon. It starts coming. I was like, did someone spill Listerine? Cool Blast Listerine all over the place? And it's like creeping along, and then he eventually slips in the water, gets his neck caught in the shower curtain.
It's like a clothesline, I think.
Oh, hanging over the shower. Gets it caught. It whips around his neck and then around the shower head and hangs him slowly.
Yeah.
And his eyes like go blood red. Like, it's really creepy.
The Listerine water scoots back into the toilet.
Which did confuse me, because I was like, Death, you're probably one of the few immortal beings that you don't have to cover your tracks. They're not going to pin this on you.
Yeah, and it's weird because they didn't, that way they thought it was a suicide, but I'm like, why do you care whether... You didn't think Sean William Scott was a suicide?
He didn't do that for anyone else. It was just this weird thing. He wanted to fuck with everyone.
Yeah. And you're probably thinking, listener, if you haven't seen this recently, you're mainly thinking, sometimes toilet bowl disinfectants are bright blue. But no, this was from the other part of the toilet.
Yeah, this is before it even gets to the deep blue something or whatever
I guess you could the deep blue something. Is that what they're?
What do they call it? 10,000 flushes or something?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could put that anywhere. Maybe they did put it.
You put it in the bowl, though. You don't put it in the wall. That's neither here nor there. I'm sure what happened is they filmed it originally without color, and they're like, I can't fucking see the water.
See the goddamn water because it's clear. Okay, so
I don't like you anymore.
Still obviously holding a grudge about that. So
you still have a dog in that fight. Don't fight dogs.
Stop now.
Who's next? Who gets off next?
I think it is.
Is that girlfriend?
Yeah, bus hit girlfriend.
This seemed needlessly cruel.
Yeah.
This is Care Smith, the sort of jock bully popular guy with beautiful skin. His girlfriend. They pass by apparently the only coffee shop in town where everyone goes after they've experienced a traumatic event and are dealing with survivor's guilt.
Coffee Beanery.
And they're just chatting out. Claire /Clear is talking to Alex, and then Mrs. Ludinov comes in, and then Billy Hitchcock, he rides his bike past, and then Care and his girlfriend are listening to Nine Inch Nails in the car, and Trent Reznor's like, Final Destination. And I'm like, I got it, movie. Got it. And they start fighting, and the girlfriend's like, stop fighting, guys. And she's like, we're not going to die. And she, of course, wanders into the street like you would, and then immediately gets hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Cruel.
It's much like the T-Rex at the end of Jurassic Park. You can never hear buses coming, famously.
It's really hard. They call it Regina George syndrome. You never know when a bus is going to be around.
People get hit by buses all the time. It can happen.
I have a bus stop half a block away from me, and I can hear it when it stops at 7:15. Get out of here. But that seemed needlessly cruel. I mean, I feel like I already referenced Regina George, but it plays almost the exact same way as it does in that famous comedy Mean Girls, where she gets hit by a bus, and it feels a little cruel to this character who's barely been developed. Put a pin in that. I'd like to return to that comment.
Do you think that was this this is from this? I would say if you were branching movies, this would come from the Scream branch of
yes, this is a post-Scream
like 90s. This kind of they leaned into the kind of the teen horror not comedy, but it's not supposed to be it's a horror in the
this is far less. It doesn't even feel like it's attempting to be scary.
No, it's
you might also put it in the family tree of where Hostel also comes from. It's not as gore porn as Hostel, but I feel like there's a little bit of that DNA in this, where you're not really here to be scared so much as to watch these people die in elaborate ways.
Yeah.
And sometimes comically gruesome ways. And that feels akin to, the gore porn that comes out in the mid 2000s and beyond. Gorn. Oh man, I'm gorning to this so hard. I want to keep going with the deaths, because after this we beloved Carter decides that he will never die. He's in control of his life and his death.
What you want to say if you're in a life and death situation is, I'm never gonna die.
Mm-hmm. That's famously in movies. That's a sure sign. We can rest easy on this guy. He's gonna be around forever. He gets in his car, and for some reason, all the other characters are in his car as well. We don't have to get into it. It's not important. They're all there, and he decides he's gonna stop on some railroad tracks. And a train's coming, and everyone else gets out because they're sensible. And he's like, nah, I'm sitting here. And then he realizes, actually, this would be a terrible way to die. My obituary would be a laughingstock. So I'm going to get out. All of my car mechanisms don't work and won't let me start the car. I can't open the doors. I can't open the windows. And Alex comes and fishes him out of the car right at the last minute. And you're like, oh, I guess he narrowly avoided that. But, Deej, wasn't his turn. And there's a piece of metal or something. After his car gets hit by the train, a piece of metal is under the tracks and eventually gets sucked out in some fashion and chops Sean Williams' head's 2/3 right off the top, leaves his jawbone and below in place, and chops the rest of his head off, and then he dies. While he's saying, "You're the one to die. It's your turn to die," and then I'm like, "Okay, movie, I get it. Let's. I get what you're trying to do."
It was kind of like they're like, I guess not like telegraphed for a long time, but it's very telegraphed. They're like, okay, this person is clearly gonna die right now. But they took the tension of the Todd scene and just made it the person being stupid in the moment, because like Todd's not like doing anything wrong in his bathroom. Right. He might be doing weird shaving practices.
It's good to be, aware of your nose hairs, even at a young age like
that. It's just gonna get worse, Todd.
Well, it's gonna get worse.
But
when do we let's keep. Should we finish? Is that the rest of the deaths?
No, we get back to very elaborate after that for
Miss Luton.
So Miss Luton is at home just quietly wrapping up her Viking horn
because she's
put away.
Yeah, she has a shofar that she has to get shipped off because she's quitting her job. She has really bad survivor's guilt, and she decides she's gonna move away, and she decides to put John Denver on the record player. And
as we all know, John Denver's a harbinger of death because he died in a plane crash, and we were like, he did other stuff.
I felt bad for the ghost of John Denver because he's like, "Come on, guys, I wrote 2 state songs." And they're like, "Nah, you died in a plane crash." And he's like, "Come on, guys."
Who else can claim that? They're like John Philip Sousa, I guess. I don't know.
I think Irving Berlin has that under his belt as well. But I do want to say one thing before we move on from John Denver. Okay. When I was a kid, I would consistently confuse John Denver with tennis champion Martina Navratilova.
That's understandable.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. That is a thing that could only have happened in the 70s.
A decade I famously was not alive for.
But their looks were of the 70s.
Very bowl cut heavy.
Yes.
But Martina, I don't think has ever worked with the Muppets in an expansive way.
She probably did a promo. I don't know if Martina got Muppet big.
No, she never got Muppet big. And she's a TERF now, so she can suck an egg.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I know you take down your Martina Navratilova posters. She sucks now.
I put that up with sticky tack. It's going to ruin the wall.
It's going to leave a weird grease stain. And then your RA is going to come by, and he's going to be like, "Did you use the thumb sticky tack?"
And also, is this a hot plate?
There's a lot of pet dander in here. Can you promise that you didn't have a pet? Is that candle's not lit, right?
I just realized, too, that they use John Denver a lot as the kind of, like, shit's getting real. And it's like
a harbinger of doom. Yeah, it is cruel.
But then also they use 9 Inch Nails in that one. And that's only because
he says the name of the movie.
Says Final Destination.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I should have at least done NIN covering John Denver or something. That would have been fun.
Oh, that would be sweet.
I feel like that's coming. That's coming in Final Destination.
Trent?
2.
Trent, I got a great idea for your next movie.
Yeah.
You and Atticus Ross can just work on John Denver covers.
Yeah.
Country Roads, Leaving on a Jet Plane. That's a good... I mean, he was covering that, but you can cover his version of it.
I wanna fuck your plane like an animal. What? Because it's got to be flying. So
right, of course.
This is where he discovered his love for music and film.
When he had this song featured in the soundtrack?
Yeah, he watched that and he was like, I got an idea.
I never knew that music could go in film before Final Destination.
Before my manager made this happen, I had no idea.
I was supposed to go see Fantasia one day and I lost my ticket. That was my Final Destination. And so I didn't know you could put music in film until I saw Final Destination later.
It's all going to start somewhere.
That's my Trent Reznor impression. Mrs. Luton, she dies by tea.
She has tea and her mug gets a crack in it.
Well, she pours hot tea in it, and for some reason she throws it out. She's startled by the hot water, and then she pours ice cold vodka in it. There's your problem right there. Puts a crack in her thing. She's spilling vodka all over the
death, or was
place.
that just physics?
Death and physics, they're close friends. Close friends.
I watched that on Netflix, a bunch of like anthology, Death and Physics. Sorry.
And Trainwreck, Death and Physics.
Death and Physics. Love Death and Physics.
Poop cruising, Death Physics. She's spilling vodka all over the place, and you're like, Death, can you come up with anything other than people flipping? And then he does. Wait, how does the fire start? Oh, she drips vodka into her computer.
Computer monitor.
Her computer starts sparking, and flames shoot out onto her.
Explodes her monitor, and a piece of glass gets caught in her neck. So that's pretty much, you're like, okay, that's how she dies. But then it keeps going.
No, Jeff likes to make sure. I mean, he's like, you got a mulligan once. I'm going to make sure you die this time.
And then you see the fire start, and the fire, catches the vodka, and the whole house catches on fire, and it leaks the trail leaking to her. So now the whole thing's on fire, and you're like, okay, well, that's how she really dies. But then she keeps going, and she trying to grab
she
knife.
laid a tea towel on top of a knife set, so she's grabbing the tea towel.
Yeah, and that pulls a knife into her body, and you're like, okay, well, that's how she dies. But no, because then what happens that something falls on
a chair tips
falls
over and pushes the knife further
into her body. It's like she was already stabbed.
You got her, Death.
But he was like, you're not getting away from this one, no matter how many Caspers show up.
That's right. And then Casper does show up. Make sure he gets his fingerprints all over everything in the most conspicuous fashion. Yeah. Because he didn't mention being chased by the police. Who cares? And then is that the...
No, okay. Yeah, because I think this happened first, and that's why they're running away, because they're gonna take Alex to Claire's
her cabin in the woods.
Yeah, her dad's cabin or something. And so that's where they're in the car together. So they see him, or I don't know what happens exactly, but
it's not important anymore. Yeah. He does go to the cabin, and then he realizes that Death's waiting for him there as well, because something in the closet falls down, and a knife comes stabs through the door.
Yeah,
and he's like, I gotta get out of here, and he's running away. And oh my God, Ray Romano, what are you doing here?
Oh, Death,
and then he runs away. I'm trying to remember the climax of this movie. That's a good sign, right?
Well, so he realizes, oh no, I was wrong. I was going to switch seats. And so it's actually...
Right. So I'm the next one.
Claire's next. And so he goes back to her house. And by that time, it's all already happening. Mm-hmm. Death is coming at her 6 ways from Sunday. And I don't remember exactly. There's too many things to remember, but there's a live wire. She's in the car.
Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot she's a sculptor.
Falls on her.
Yeah.
All this stuff. And then so he comes, and he comes to help her, and he's like, I'm going to grab this wire. And she's like, no. And he's like, yeah. And then the cops pull up as they see him do that. And he kind of saves her, but he gets exploded away. And
right. So, which proves, because he saved one person, it proves he couldn't possibly have killed anyone else.
Yeah.
Because he's a good person. He's good and evil. Yeah.
So I guess that's Lauren asked me that question afterwards. She's like, wait, how did he escape the police? And it was like, I think we're meant to believe that they saw that, and so they're like, well,
he couldn't. You know what it probably is, Greg?
Yeah.
The concept of death.
Because I believe in ACAR. All cops are reasonable.
They definitely would write down cause of death,
but with capital D.
That's how you know it's, the guy with the side and the hood and everything. And so that's great.
Then we get our epilogue that we talked about.
Right, and then they go to France and they get killinated there.
Maybe there's a big sign. I almost always see is it coming toward the back of Biff's head as the credits roll.
Now, I will say I did go ahead and watch Final Destination 2 because these things go down like cotton candy.
Yeah.
Because they're not scary and they're ludicrous. And I will give you a quick epilogue on our characters. Claire, she checks herself in voluntarily into a mental hospital because she wants to be in a padded room where death can't get her. Care Smith did die, and Devon Sawa, Alex, dies from a brick to the head. He gets Marsha P. Johnson to death, by death, and dies. We see an article that says,
he's not even in it.
Plane crash survivor dies from brick.
Dies from brick. And we don't have any other context. We don't, he wasn't
No, I'm sure Devon Sawa's agent can give you some context.
He wasn't building the house for the third little pig or anything.
No, he wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't him and Jimmy Carter, and Jimmy Carter dropped a brick on him.
Well, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Do you want to? We probably should have done this earlier, but can we hop into the problematic corner for a second?
Oh yeah, I don't know how much I have here. Okay, yeah. Let's go.
That's a quick job.
Now, y'all. Damon's got a problem, baby. Ooh, watch out now, y'all. Let him know about it.
Thank you, Jackson, for that theme song. Basically, the only two things I have.
Yeah.
Okay. One is in the dream sequence. So this didn't actually happen. So
you can't blame Todd for it, but go on. You can't blame
Todd for it because it was Dream Todd.
Mm-hmm. You have to, in a way, blame Devon Sawa.
Really? It's his imagination that imagines...
Your subconscious thought of this.
He says, no, I'm not going to move. And then... Or no, wait, he agrees,
gets at these two...
He agrees to move. Yeah, the girls want to move, and it means that they don't sit next to Todd, and he's horny for these girls. And
boys are horny, yeah.
Yeah. That's the most accurate part of this film.
True.
Well, besides the elaborate ways death can get you.
It's also true.
So he moves, and so he's going to sit next to Todd, and as he does it, Todd mouths the F word.
Right.
As if to say, you are a bundle of sticks.
Yeah.
To Alex.
You are a British cigarette because you let those hot girls sit back there by the engine. Those girls won't be able to hear your annoying voices when they get off the plane, which might give you an up.
So, okay.
I said an up. I meant a leg up.
I was kind of like to give you an up. I was like,
give you an up.
Like a cool turn of phrase. I don't know, but I knew what you meant. Do you?
And that's how language evolves.
Do you have here, Damon, as the resident homosexual on this podcast? Do you have a
resident British cigarette? What's that?
Do you have a comment?
I didn't care for that, but it's probably in the low. Marsha P. Johnson got Devon Sawa in the end, so she got her.
Really won.
She got her revenge. My only problematic thing, aside from that, I did clock that. And actually, by me clocking that, I mean Tyler clocked it and told me about it, and I rewound it to watch it again.
Time spent on phone? At least that scene.
Already on the phone. The other thing, the girl dying felt... I can't place they really hated her, but she was barely developed at all, and her getting bust in that scene felt almost like, check out this bitch getting killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt a little perfunctory in an almost cruel way. But I can't really, if I tried to bring this to trial, it would never stick.
Yeah,
but it had an ick of sexism there. Let's run over this bitch.
You could definitely put it in the underdeveloped character pile of, and
I will.
Those aren't all women, but they skew. You know what I mean?
This movie, in its defense, I guess I would say it's an equal opportunity offender in terms of underdeveloped characters.
Sure,
but we can talk about that in a less problematic space.
Well, my only other item in the problematic corner is, it's only tangentially related to queer history in that there is an owl involved, and then that is a beautiful, majestic owl comes up to Alex's window. And he throws a magazine at it, and it made me really upset. Because this beautiful owl comes up to your window. And I know it's an omen for death, whatever. I guess you should believe. I guess
blaming the Roman goddess Minerva that she was trying to warn them.
But it was,
hey, don't pick your nose right now.
I thought it was Osiris. But this is Alex. This is not Todd. It happens to Alex, and he's got a magazine in hand. He just throws it like it's a snake or something.
Yeah.
It's very upsetting.
And he
Not
does.
really problematic. I'm being facetious, but
true. But the magazine then does get cut up like it would in a fan because they move so fast.
Very sharp.
They're just circular saws, really.
Yeah.
A magazine certainly wouldn't just stop it from operating. So it cuts up perfectly the word Todd from the magazine.
Because fans are notoriously robust and don't break easily. So
as anyone in a freshman dorm can tell you, they last forever.
All right, let's get out of the corner.
Yeah.
Ooh, watch out now, y'all. Let them know about it.
I think one of my main issues with this movie is that even slasher movies, which this I would count as, typically do a little bit, not the best, but they do a little bit of like character development. So I know why I'm either rooting for these characters or more likely why I'm eager to watch them get strangled by a
they have like some table setting at least at the very
beginning. Like who's the dick, who's the homophobe, who's the one who's like cheating on his girlfriend or whatever. Yeah, all that would be great. And this movie starts with them getting on the plane and with barely any characterization amongst them. I mean, Carter, Kerr Smith's character, probably gets the most in that he's just kind of a general prick.
He's a dick, and they're like making out, which just makes them both annoying. Which is true. Death, I got you there.
Death, I'll let you have it. It did remind me of that Onion article of nation's horniest couples plan to stand in front of you in line at amusement parks. That because they were all over each other constantly.
Yeah,
and like, but even then, his girlfriend Terry, which is why it felt like very perfunctory the way she died. She's barely developed at all. I don't know if she's mean, if well liked or nice or whatever.
Does both because she's like, no, leave him alone. But then she also is kind of like
yelling.
She seems like she's nice. She's definitely nicer than her boyfriend, but that doesn't really mean anything.
Even Alex, like I feel like I don't really know who he is outside of this moment, this event. Like I don't know if he's well liked amongst his peers, if his peers think he's a creep anyway. What's going on there? It's very, and so like once they start dying, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And when, especially with a movie where it's a slasher movie without an actual slasher in it, you're just sort of left with these people. And then, well, I mean, this is sort of a second point, but the slasher without a slasher means that I'm reliant entirely on them of like telling me what Death's plan is, and then saying it in the most clunky expository dialogue possible. And then Tony Todd has to come in and like say, hey, I get beers with Death every Friday. And this is how he operates. Very confusing.
It was, we just didn't mention him yet. So he's the mortician. They go to see Todd's body and Tony Todd plays the,
breaking through the rotunda of a building. You don't want to try any doors or windows. You want to start at the rotunda, a copula.
William Bloodworth was his character.
Get out of here with the names.
Silly blood. And then when they leave, he's just kind of like being creepy, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go, and sorry about breaking in, which was funny. And then he goes, no harm, no foul, and then he says it again, no harm, no. And you're like, what? Is that? I guess anything can be creepy if you say it.
He does appear again in the second one, so I'm trying to remember if this is something he does in the second one, but he does what I would also do if I was a mortician, which is he says, I'll be seeing you real soon.
Oh,
that's fun.
Death.
That's fun because he's like, I'm going to drain all the blood out of your body.
That kind of for the mortician who's buddies with, are those
the embalming process.
The mortician who's buddies with Death. I kind of like that idea. They didn't really get into it.
I would love to see them just, like a Jada Pinkett Smith, the Red Table thing where they're just sitting around shooting the shit, just bouncing back and forth. Just a podcast, basically, I guess, in a way. Just give them both mics. Death and Todd. Death and Bloodworth.
Death and Todd. Todd and Death. Death and Todd. I have a question about Death.
Please.
Am I going to die? What happens after we die? No. Well, I have Death in this movie. I feel like, now I know the actual answer to this, the practical answer, but give me the in-universe answer as to why Death doesn't just summon like a bear or a tornado. I feel like There's so
A
many
school
easier ways.
shooting, that would be an easy way to get them all around.
Just like a straight up car accident. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to hit them with the bus. I mean, the bus makes sense. They're like, you know, buses are around.
Well, when you're dealing with, you want to kill just the people, because again, rules are rules. You don't want to kill anyone else in the process.
Innocent.
And so and when you're dealing with like, you know, young teenagers, I mean, their skulls haven't even completely
Got that
closed
Nell
yet. Yeah. So you got to be real specific about how you kill him.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to send an owl into his room to peck his eyes out, but he had the window closed.
He had that magazine and that sharp ass man. Couldn't be helped.
So I had to just sort of, you know, strangle him with a shower curtain. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know the rules of like, this is less a factor here because it's a very clearly defined like group of people who survived this wreck. But in the second one where it's just a traffic accident, I'm like, well, how do you define like, well, this person was 13 cars down on the on-ramp, so they wouldn't have died anyway. So the line's there. Everyone else in front of that Ford F-150, you are all on the list and I have to kill you in a specific order.
Do you think it's kind of arbitrary though? Like, we're like, I mean, I gotta get something done today, so I'm just gonna kill these sorts of people, right? You gotta draw a line somewhere.
I mean, you could have killed him at that coffee shop. Just have just put the bus driver to sleep. He careens off the street, hits them all. They were all sitting outside. You could have gotten them all right then. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, 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 boom. That would be the sound of their bodies under the tire wheels.
That's really messed up, Damon.
Sorry.
Sorry. I don't understand also why they only gave them 6 months to. These are like 6 months later after this awful tragedy. You've seen many people die in horrific ways after barely surviving a just once in a generation plane explosion situation. And then you go to the same destination
well,
with the same people.
I have this
6 months later. I understand like confronting that fear at some point. That seems fast.
That does seem fast, especially, well, they're trauma bonded.
They're trauma bonded.
That was in the original
they're graduating. They're like,
script.
I'm going to live forever.
As proven by the fact that I defeated death. After I beat him at his own game, and I know with surety that he is defeated and won't come after me again.
I think if there's one thing that's realistic about this movie, it's unearned confidence of teens. So
I will say I have a weird superstition where sometimes, like if I'm driving and I think I could die in a car wreck right now, I think then my next thought is, well, I won't because I just thought that. What are the chances that I would have thought that? So they were like, what are the chances the plane would explode again on the way there?
That's true. I used to have that with the monsters under my bed. It was like, well, I just thought about the monster, so now they're definitely not going to be there. So I think we're all set.
It's their night off.
Yeah. Do you want to go to the verdict? Because I do.
Hold on. I want to do
14 more things real quick.
Yeah, usually.
Just 14 or 15 more things.
I had a question myself.
About death.
About the plane explosion. Did you notice there was just an explosion of blood at one point?
Oh.
On the exit sign?
Yeah.
And I was like, who was that? Who just exploded? It just felt like they were like, we just need a little stinger here.
Well, that at one point, so Todd gets hit like with a radio or something.
Oh,
that's how he's like hit. I don't know if that was him because I don't
maybe that was it.
But there was like
because all the luggage is flying out and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't just bring a raw boombox on a plane.
That would have been 9/11. That's my 9/11. Is someone bring a boombox on a plane? Get out of here with that.
Well, we're all stuck on the tarmac, so we're gonna just play an an acoustic number real quick.
Wait, there's a mustachioed man in the back with male pattern baldness who's hanging himself from the rafters. Okay, one last thing. I don't think I have seen a movie like this that has two scenes of men shitting in it.
Yeah, and two men in the one scene.
Two men in one scene, and then we get a reprise, to put it in musical terms, of Todd, one of those two men, shitting later.
I did have that on my so many poops is what I put.
Many poops. And John Denver, again, has to be there, because that's when Devon Sawa first makes the connection.
First of all, get that done and get out of there. You're gonna get hemorrhoids.
Yeah, don't just sit there
Don't just
forever.
hang
You
out.
gotta. All right. Yep. Let's go.
Let's go to the verdict. Damon,
Yeah.
what is your
That scared the
final?
shit out of me. Oh my god, my cord's wrapped around my neck.
Ooh,
Oh, but I got it untangled, so it must not be my time.
not it. Final. What is your final destination? Final verdict.
I think your inner child is an idiot. I did read up that this was originally pitched as an X-Files episode, which when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, I could do about 45 minutes plus 15 minutes of commercials of this. And that felt very true. I felt like they sort of, like I said, it's a slasher movie without a slasher, and that immediately sort of ties one hand behind your back. And then that's a choice they made, and then you never see death. You have like an effect when you know death's around. There's always a fucking breeze, and there's sometimes a ripple effect on reflective surfaces. But it leaves them with like having to explain the villain's motives because the villain isn't around to explain them for them. And then there's all these like rules that would make like owning a gremlin seem like a cakewalk. There's so many.
But I feel like you can fill that in.
of
We're
the
not so
death.
different, you and I. You know, I'm actually your brother.
And then, yeah, Tony Todd is also there to sort of like kind of be like his PR campaign. Like, I just want to, as a duly appointed representative of the concept of death, I just wanted to explain how this all works. It felt very like they painted themselves in a corner and then didn't really have a creative way to get themselves out of it. I think a lot of it could have been solved by making taking 10 minutes at the beginning of this movie to establish who these characters are. If you want to take gleeful, some glee in killing them, make them all dicks. It's not a long walk to make some attractive white teenagers seem like assholes. So they could have gone the Friday the 13th route and just made some of the barest bones attempts at characterization. There are some cool deaths. I giggled at a few of them. It's not a particularly scary film.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's really trying to be scary. But yeah, it seems like a better concept than execution. Pardon the pun. Yeah. DJ, what did you...
Do you have any nominees?
Oh, shit!
I think...
Nominees. Yeah. I guess I would nominate for the Sally Field. I would nominate Todd's death because it actually did make me anxious. All the various ways he was cutting himself.
I'm okay seconding that, but I also want to shout out the plane crash, which ended up being a vision. I think it was really scary.
Okay.
Like, not like scary, like horror movie scary, but just like, I thought it was a good plane crash sequence. But I think for this movie, it's more apropos to like have an elaborate death. And I think Miss Luton's got a little crazy. Todd's did too, but it was like a little bit.
Mr. Luton's was like, okay, she's not going to make it down.
Okay.
You leave the woman. She's already
Leave her
dead.
alone.
Leave her alone. Do you have a COH? Do you have a Catherine O'Hara?
Catherine O'Hara. Oh.
It's not.
Todd?
I might give it to Tony Todd. I might also give it to Kerr Smith, who I feel like is, because he's given a character, he is able to express a character.
Good, though. I don't want, like,
I'm not saying he's a good person that I want to hang out with.
No, I just mean, like,
clothes on, at least.
as an actor,
if you know what
not
I mean.
like, actually, that's a high bar for this one.
But Tony Todd also, I feel like he's not given a good hand either.
Playing like a trope.
Yeah, he's just playing like an exposition machine.
Yeah. Which
Sean William Scott.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a tough.
No one's given us like laugh lines or anything.
I will say, like Sean William Scott, like there was part of me that was like, I get with Sean William Scott in this movie.
Okay. What about Death? Can we give it to Death?
I don't. Yeah, we could, but I mean, thinking of trying to get the screen grab or the image for the thumbnail. Oh, that sounds like hell on earth.
Let's give it to me.
And also, Death, like I don't think was a very good character. I was just complaining about that in my verdict.
Yeah. Well, let's keep thinking about that. I'm going to go ahead and...
That means I'm going to furiously text you the day I'm supposed to post it and be like, what are our things?
Well,
All right, go ahead. Go ahead with your verdict.
Your inner child is not an idiot.
Oh,
This is going to be surprising to most
this
people.
is surprising.
I don't think this is good per se, but I also think this is kind of right what I thought it was. I don't think it's worse than I thought it was. I think it's kind of fun. It's not like amazing. And I think from what I understand of the sequels, or what I barely remember about like the 2 other movies I've seen of this back in the day, is that it does get a lot more elaborate, a little bit more campy and cartoonish, but like,
I got some straight up guffaws watching the second one on some deaths.
But I think this is like, it's a cool concept. Like the very idea is interesting, which is why you can see it being an X-Files episode. I think although they didn't make it a short 45 minutes plus 15 minutes of commercials, they did only make it like a 90-minute movie. And I really respect that. I always want to give that doff of the cap, because thank you. Not everything needs to be Scorsese length. And
some things don't even really need to be 90 minutes based on watching this.
Yeah. This didn't feel like rushed per se. Like it didn't feel like they needed more, but they could have used some of the time better with character development. I don't disagree with that by any means. Even just like a more perfunctory, rather than just like, he's a bully. He has visions. He looks like a young Christian Bale, like whatever the setups were. But I also think
they're a bunch of 30-year-olds going to high school.
Yeah, they're from the Gabriella from 90210 school. But they, I think they do a lot of things where this kind of movie, I feel like we talked about this in something else, where we're like, they rely on the tropes and you get to fill in the blank. They don't do that as much as like, I'm rethinking of like, I Know What You Did Last Summer or something. I'm trying to remember where that was.
I mean, I think they didn't even do that. I wish they relied on some tropes. Like even Sean William Scott, like he's wearing like a
loser
Leafs jersey. I was like, is he just he's always falling. So I was like, is he klutz? Is he kind of a stoner? Is he just sort of a dope? Like what's his deal? Just give me something to hang my hat on. And the movie was like, no, we're going to give you lore about death and rules.
You hang your hat on there?
Very complicated Excel spreadsheet about everyone's death.
You hang your hat on that? We're going to make it kind of fall and hit you in the neck with the hangy parts.
And then the snapback gets like caught around my tongue or something. I don't know.
We'll fill in the rest.
It writes itself, this shit.
I just think it was like kind of fun.
Okay.
And kind of silly. I'm not going to like stand up for it any stronger than that, but I also this is exactly what I thought it was. And I think that's good sometimes. What do you think, everybody? You're in a child's an idiot at gmail.com. You can email us. You can text us or leave us a voicemail, 615-576-0525. You can tell us what you think. No, it'll be too late to tell us what you think are...
yeah, we're filming it now, not in the
Catherine O'Hara Memorial MVP Award.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say Tony Todd.
All right. I won't fight it.
Because he did give me just a little hint of lore that I could have used more of, and it's not like it was great, but it did kind of make it a little creepy. I don't know. Do you disagree?
Yeah.
Well, what's your nominee?
I don't have one. I feel like everyone sucks.
All right, well, we could just skip it.
I'm fine with seconding Tony Todd, but I feel like he's dealt a bad hand. He's just sort of left to explain something that's very like hard to explain.
I'll tell you what's not hard to explain.
I felt your feelings. Remember when Clear said that? And I was like, what?
You know what's not hard to explain? How great our patrons are. And we want to thank them. We want to thank our patrons for supporting the show, including Lindsay, Halik.
It had the cadence of a joke.
Bill Haynes.
Heather Tuggle.
Wait, hold on. Should we tell our patrons how we think they're going to die?
No, that sounds... There's too many people.
Heather Tuggle.
Lindsay, Nell.
Jackson.
Caroline Amberson.
Travis Vance.
And the
Elusive fan Gromkin.
Jeremy Powlen.
Tippi von Cheaterly.
Hizoner the Mayor.
Larissa Maestro.
T. Smith.
Shit on the Cartouche.
Jonathon Day.
Stu-StusStuartJ.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
The Zesty.
Zachary Hartley.
Beth Surmont.
The Hands of Fate.
Karen Curd.
Yes. Dr. Malcolm's Heaving Bosom.
Particle Man,
Josh Frigo,
Little Miss Chicken Nugget.
the supreme ruler of this podcast.
And Tommy Boy is Damon's favorite movie. Everybody knows that. It's written in stone. Thank you all very much for supporting the show. If you want to support like them, patreon.com/YourInnerChild'sAnIdiot. And
Well, I'm going to go. I just have to do some real quick buzz sawing in my basement.
Yeah.
I narrowly avoided a car wreck earlier today, and just sawing things alone in my basement with headphones on and a long cable plugged across the room. It's just the way I relax.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to go change a couple shingles in my roof during the storm. In the roof.
Yes. Perfect.
You can tell what a handy man I am because I know how to say things.
Because you know the prepositions to use when you're doing stuff.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye.